In the quiet town of Oduro, surrounded by red earth and mango trees, there lived a boy named Mensa. He was known across the village not for kindness or laughter, but for his loud voice and quick temper. Whenever children played football near the dusty field, Mensa would arrive, kick the ball away, and boast, "No one plays better than me." His friends laughed because they were afraid, not because they liked him. Mensa lived with his grandmother, Nana Efua, an old woman whose eyes were soft and deep, like calm water hiding great strength. She loved her grandson dearly but often sighed as she watched him shout at other children. "Mensa," she would say, "when you use fear to make others respect you, you're only showing your weakness." Mensa would roll his eyes and walk away, believing strength came from being loud. At school, there was one boy Mensa always picked on, Kofi, a quiet child with a slow voice and a big heart. Kofi's father worked as a farmer, and his clothes were often worn out. Mensa would laugh, saying, "Look at Kofi, too weak to fight, too poor to matter." The other children would join in, afraid to be next. But Kofi never fought back. He only said softly, "One day, you'll understand." Those words didn't bother Mensa at first. He thought they were the words of someone who had already lost. Yet, deep down, they stayed like a small pebble in his shoe, hard to ignore. One afternoon, dark clouds gathered over Oduro. A storm rolled in with heavy wind and rain. School ended early, and children ran home laughing and shouting. On his way, Mensa saw Kofi walking slowly with a basket of yams, trying to help his father carry them before the rain ruined the harvest. Mensa smirked. "Look at him. Always working, never playing." But then thunder cracked across the sky, and the wind grew wild. Suddenly, the old bridge across the river started to shake. Kofi's father slipped, and the basket of yams rolled into the water. Without thinking, Kofi jumped after it. "Papa," he shouted as the current pulled him away. The other villagers screamed. Mensa froze, fear gripped him. But then he saw Kofi's small hands struggling in the rushing water, and something inside him broke free. Without shouting or thinking, Mensa ran. He threw off his slippers and leapt into the water. The current hit him hard, but he fought it, not for pride, not to look strong, but because someone needed him. He reached Kofi and grabbed his arm. Together, they struggled toward the edge, coughing and gasping as villagers pulled them out. When they sat shivering under a tree, Kofi looked at Mensa with weak eyes and said, "You're strong, Mensa. But real strength isn't in your fists, it's in your heart." Mensa said nothing. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from shame and realization. He finally understood what Nana Efua had been telling him all along. The next morning, Oduro woke to clear skies and a gentle breeze. Mensa didn't go to the football field. He went straight to Kofi's house with a basket of yams. When Kofi's father opened the door, Mensa said, "I came to help in the farm today." The man smiled quietly and nodded. From that day, the children of Oduro began to notice something strange. Mensa no longer shouted. When fights started, he was the one who stopped them. He taught smaller children how to play fairly, and when someone dropped the ball, he helped pick it up instead of laughing. One afternoon, under the shade of a neem tree, Nana Efua called him. "Mensa," she said, "I see your heart has grown quiet." He smiled shyly. "You were right, Nana. Fear makes noise. Real strength whispers." Years later, Mensa became a teacher in the same school he once ruled with anger. His students admired him not because they feared him, but because they trusted him. He often told them the story of the storm and said, "The strongest people aren't the ones who make others small, they're the ones who lift others higher." And in that small village of Oduro, the boy who once shouted the loudest became the man whose calm voice taught generations that strength and kindness are not enemies, but brothers.